River Sports, a production of Cook Cablevision of Syracuse, presents Syracuse Lacrosse. Today in the Carrier Dome, it's the Hofstra Flying Dutchman against the Syracuse Orangemen. And hi again, everybody. Dave Cohen along with Dale Drypulcher. The Hofstra Flying Dutchmen are indeed flying high. This is the best start they've had in lacrosse in well over a decade, and they come in with only one loss. They're ranked number 13 in the country, and today they go against the defending national champion Syracuse Orangemen, a tall task.
You know, they really do. They have a great recruiting year down there last couple of years. They're right on Long Island. They've thrown a couple of junior college transfers, and Joe Donowski's team is strong and getting stronger. So their program on the way up, Dave.
You know, sports fans, Dale, have always had a fascination with names. There have been players throughout the history of sports who have had the same name as the nickname of a team, like Jim Brown, Dave Philly, Jose Cardinal. There have been players who've had the same name as the city they played in, Joe Washington, Ken Houston, Houston Antwine. But until today, I have never come across a player who's had the same name as the sport. And he also happens to be the best player for Hofstra. His name is Mike Lacrosse.
Well, he's really an excellent attack man, number one. You're going to see him here against St. John's. You see he gets kind of a low pass, perfect positioning, and the left-hander puts it up high for a goal. Later in that game against St. John's, he gets another high shot. A junior out of Canandaigua, a transfer actually out of Herkimer Junior College, national champions, and he's an excellent athlete. Was supposed to come to Syracuse.
Yeah, what happened?
Apparently he got better financial aid at Hofstra, and he said he's very happy, and he's happy to be playing against Syracuse. So it'll be interesting to watch Mike's performance today.
And as you saw there, his name is spelled precisely like the sport. In a game earlier this year, he had 10 goals in one contest, and against anybody, that is one tremendous accomplishment.
Absolutely. That was against the University of Virginia, fine Division I team. So keep your eye on Mike Lacrosse.
Well, for the last 2 years, Syracuse Lacrosse has been dominated by the Canadians from British Columbia, the Gate brothers. But this year, there's also a third Canadian, and he comes from the same neighborhood, not only of Gary and Paul Gate, but of a couple of players on the Hofstra team as well.
Well, Tom Marichek, number 42, came in. He's only a freshman. Didn't know how much he was going to play. Didn't really start at the beginning, but he is now. You're going to see him here against Brown. You already saw one goal. He's going to get a pass from Paul Gate, and when he is left open, he's just a deadly shooter. Right there, the goalie got a stick on it, but he's used to playing in the box. He's got a perfect accuracy, very, very accurate pinpoint shooter, Dave. So Marichek is also a phenomenon that's really to be watched.
And both of those shots were of the conventional variety, but we've seen him use that behind the back shot like that, and he just stuns goalies.
Well, they use it all the time in the box because the goal is much smaller, so he's used to that. Might see a lot of that tonight. One
important factor in this game, face-offs. Joe Corella for Hofstra has won 61%, and Kirk Pratt for Syracuse 62%.
Anytime you play a team like Syracuse, if you can control the tempo at all and get that initial ball on the face-off, so it might start right here from the face-off circle. We might see how Hofstra does. It'll be right there early in the face-off circle.
Syracuse and Hofstra back with the opening face-off right after this. And back in the Carrier Dome, Dave Cohen and Dale Drypulch are getting set to bring you Syracuse against Hofstra. Division I lacrosse. The Orangemen are, of course, the defending national champions. They led the all-time series against Hofstra. Teams last played a year ago, and Syracuse won that game. Hofstra's last victory coming over a decade ago. Going into this action today, the Syracuse Orangemen ranked second behind Johns Hopkins, the only team to defeat Syracuse this year. There have been a number of changes as a result of losses by number 3 Navy, number 4 Cornell, and number 5 North Carolina. The Tar Heels moving up to number 5. And Hofstra in this game, as you see, is ranked number 13. They have a record of 6-1. Their lone loss was to Long Island rival Adelphi, a team that Syracuse has handled rather easily, 18-11. Matt Palin will be the Syracuse goalie. And Giannone will be the goalie for the Flying Dutchman of Hofstra. Now we'll watch the face-off. Kirk Pratt out to go against Joe Corello. Hofstra is a team that plays on an artificial surface down on Long Island, outdoor surface, and a new one at that.
Very nice facility. Beautiful.
Their athletic director, Jim Garvey, is here today. Longtime football and lacrosse referee, one of the best in both sports. I'm trying to remember which game he worked here in the Dome. It was a record-setting game for a player. Handed him the football, stopped the game.
That's right. Just about set now for the face-off.
Let's watch the styles of both Kirk Pratt and Joe Corello here on the face. Rather vocal crowd, a good contingent of Hofstra fans on hand. And if this is an indication of the way it'll go all day, it'll be some time until a team gains possession. Gary Gate has it now for Syracuse. Bounce pass intended for brother Paul to the near sideline. A turnover, and it goes over to Hofstra.
Hotly contested face-off. Both Syracuse wings in came up with it, but as you said, a poor pass turns the ball right over to Hofstra. The Dutchman will now have to bring the ball up, and they'll handle it. Laudenslager, midfielder.
Syracuse sends on its defensive midfield. Persing, Schluter, and Scaramazzino, and they're applying the ride now, trying to prevent Hofstra from coming out of their own end. This is Ken Curry, local product from Henniger High School. Syracuse still with the pressure on. They send it to the goalie, Giannone. They're going to go to the near sideline now, let Tommy Byrne work with it. Byrne encounters pressure from Greg Burns. And now a bounce pass into the attacking zone. It's picked off by McCabe, and it goes onto the stick of Phil Schluter. Schluter scored a couple of goals. He feeds to the wing for a shot and a score. Coming in is Maricek, virtually out of nowhere off the field from Phil Schluter. So big stick and all, Schluter is able to take it the length of the field and dish it off.
I think that's been typical of Syracuse's big sticks, especially this season. They're really making things happen, and you see the end of it there as Schluter got the ball to Maricek, and he does two fakes and one-on-one with Giannone, and he comes up with the first goal of the game.
Second assist of the year for Phil Schluter, and for Tom Maricek, his 17th goal. He trails only Gary Gate in that department. 1-0 Syracuse. A minute in. Here's Paul Gate. It's easy to spot him today. He's wearing the red spandex athletic long johns, or short long johns. And Zilberti with the orange high tops. And here is Maricek. Back to Zilberti. Man-to-man defense, is it, Dale?
Yeah, generally one of the things Zilberti's they're gonna really jump on him. They double team him. Giannone up with the ball, fast break, but nobody there. Ball on the ground. Syracuse end.
Loose play now, and it's onto the stick of Gary Gate with some running room and a head of steam. He goes left. Now from behind Zilberti. Now Paul Gate.
They're yelling ice, which is perhaps they're worrying about an ISO. They're going to jump him.
Ice is nice.
Yeah.
As Paulgate comes in with a solo effort against the double team, and it is quickly 2-0 Syracuse.
45 seconds later, a Syracuse goal by number 19.
Serrata 11 and number 2 Byrne eventually try to team up to stop Gate, but he really powers just by himself, and they jumped him. But awfully strong, Dave. You and I have seen it a lot. He's such a strong player. Very difficult to stop him on a power.
And Hofstra immediately goes to a timeout with 13:16 to go here in the first quarter. Syracuse 2 and Hofstra nothing.
Time for our first lucky number 5. We'll turn to the
Face off with Syracuse leading at 2-0 on goals by Paul Gate and Tom Maricek. Pratt and Corello. Another long one to decide possession. Pratt and Corello are still in there, and it's taken away now. Coming away with
McGinley.
it for the moment, McGinley. And this is the first time Hofstra's been in a set offense. Mike Lacrosse is number 1. Keep an eye on him. He sets the pick. Here are the Flying Dutchman. Nice poke check and takeaway by guess who? Pat McCabe, the master of that. And here's the Syracuse transition game. Already leading at 2-0. Is that McNamara on defense? Yeah, he's going to head back as Burns plays it. Zilberti. Syracuse now making changes.
Scarmazzino off. Now they're getting other people in. Amaya's in. Second middies.
Joe Bonacci's on. Earl Hall as well. On the ground, Maricek gets it up quickly onto the stick of Zilberti. Spins away from Byrne. He's pushed, gives it up. Hard bouncing shot by Burns. Syracuse will keep it as Maricek is closest to it as it goes out of bounds. Greg Burns, kind of a silent performer. You don't hear very much about him.
He does a good job. Right now, Maricek's going to be out.
Fred Amaya, the freshman from Hicksville. This is Jim Egan who's on now. Egan's been replaced in the starting lineup by Tom Maricek. Amaya is from Hicksville. Earl Hall from Brewerton. This is Amaya. Off the hesitation. Janot may have gotten a stick on it, but Syracuse closest to it.
Had a little stack up there on the crease. 2 men stacked up in the 2-2-2, and now they're going to have the attack bringing in Egan over to Z.
Yorktown, New York's Jim Egan. John Zilberti out of West Genesee High School, one of the co-captains. Got his shot deflected. Who's going to get to it? Zilberti is there again, and Syracuse keeps it once more.
Good defense by Byrne. It was just an isolation and see if he could power from behind the goal. He managed to keep the stick up, and Zilberti, who is said that he's looking to be more of a feeder this year and not as much of a scorer, can do both. Keep that in mind. There's the coach. I believe I called him John Danowski.
Syracuse sends on the heavy artillery, the Gates and speedy Rodney Dumpson. This is Gary Gate, Player of the Year, Lacrosse 1988. Rodney Dumpson, fastest of the Orangemen. Kind of a collapsing defense here as Gate feeds across. Now from behind, Zilberti into the slot. Burns, good job on him. They knocked the stick right out of his hands. Brian Donahue having trouble, and now it's taken away finally by Doug Edmonds. But Hofstra's been guilty of just dumping the ball upfield and not maintaining possession. They haven't had a shot yet. Ballgate comes away, and we get a whistle.
Push, that'll go against Syracuse. You're right, Dave. It's a good observation. They've had a couple of opportunities, but it's been more of desperation. Let's get the ball out of here, and not really had people in position. I think that they're perhaps a little bit nervous. This is their first away game, I believe. They really have had a lot of home standing, so it'll take them a little while to settle down. Syracuse had problems with Hofstra last year down there, so this is not a team that's all that bad. People say Hofstra, I didn't hear of them, but I think that they're going to be a team of the future.
Well, it's natural that they would field a good team. They're right in one of the 3 lacrosse hotbeds in the United States: Long Island, upstate New York, and of course the Baltimore area. Now for the first time, this is John Cooper, one of the British Columbia products. Settled offense this time. Spin move being made by Bill Stanley, and he backs it off. It's in the stick now of Mike Lacrosse for the first time. And here's Lacrosse, brought to his knees by McNamara.
225 pounds of defenseman there.
And they get it to Matt Palin, who touches it for the first time out of his cage. He likes to do this. He gives it up. McNamara with Lacrosse moving up on him.
They're going to put pressure on there, not going to concede any clear.
Now if Palin can outleg the defense or the attack, Syracuse could have an advantage. He brings it across. Palin still with it. Now he gives it up to Greg Burns.
Nice job by Matt Palin. He saw that open up and he just took it. It wasn't dangerous. He got rid of it just when he should.
Some folks might wonder, what did he accomplish by that?
He got it clear, and he also got a chance to see what was going to happen if he took it right down the gut.
Maricek works one-on-one. Feeding to Amaya. He'll go right. Off the hesitation. Now Fred works from behind.
That's Matt Cady was on Amaya. Now they switch.
Hard shot. Zilberti doesn't have to go very far. He's still closest to it.
Doug Edmonds finally switched. They've had Cady 26 on Garrygate. And they may switch off. They had to there. One of them was picked off, but now it'll be with the attack as Zilberti brings it in.
This is the opening quarter of play. The whirling move by Zilberti. One-on-one. It's a clear out. And Zilberti gets the shot away. He's into the crease. Was he pushed? He was.
Yeah.
There's a push.
Great body positioning by Zilberti. He got that back around. You know what he does? He backs him in, and when he's gone far enough, they're going to turn around and have to push him. Watch. See, watch. There's the body position. He's got it on Byrne. He's made the dodge, and that's, yeah, you could have called a hold or a push or whatever, and they got it. But you can see what the body position is. Zilberti made a nice move.
Definitely looked like a clear-out play. Here's a bounce shot by Garrygate, and it eludes Giannone on the bounce. His first goal of the afternoon, and number 22 on the year. It is now 3-0 Syracuse.
Matt Cady was on him, the defenseman, but you realize that Garrygate doesn't have to get set in order to really get the ball off on a hard shot, and he did.
Number 42, Tom Maricek. Goal by
Syracuse 2-1 in the face-off department at this point. We've had 3.
Syracuse 3.
Yeah, we haven't seen that ball squirt out in a hurry yet.
No, that's a good point. It's down there. Your wingmen then become a very integral part, and they've got Laudenslager on this side.
This time it comes out, and Paulgate's there to scoop, and immediately feeds his brother Gary. They knew where they were going right from the get-go. Closest to it is Maricek. The 3 Canadians figure prominently on that one.
Not a bad shot, not exactly on goal, but Maricek obviously feeling comfortable on this first attack unit, knew exactly where he was, got over. There's the Canadian connection. 51 goals, 22 assists, and 73 total points for the 2 midfielders and attackmen from British Columbia.
They've suffered only 1 loss at Syracuse, the opening game this year to Hopkins. Garrygate, Maricek, Greg Burns from James DeWitt off the deflection. Paul pulls it down. Working against Donahue. Paulgate. Where is it?
You know, Hofstra's playing a very, very tight man-to-man defense, and that's really good if you can control them. But if you get beat, it opens up some lanes out at the midfield area, and that's what happened there. Just shot wasn't on goal.
They're working that ball quickly now.
You see how tight they are.
Being challenged. He goes low with his shot. Didn't have a lot of steam on that one, and Giannone handled it for the save. Up he goes now to Kraus, Stan Kraus, legging it against Rodney Dumpson. He won't outrun Dumpson. Now Mike Lacrosse. We call this a homecoming. It's from Canandaigua. Curry from right here in Syracuse, as we said, from Henniger High School. They give him room. Paul Gate does. The one-on-one move. Paul winds the stick up, but Curry lost it all by himself. High in the air, the ball comes down. Contending for there is Steve Serrata, and Hofstra keeps it. Then they throw it away.
Marichek got a stick on it, though, and went off of his stick. So it was a nice play by Marichek, but that'll give the ball back to Hofstra. And Ken Curry got his pocket picked, right?
Steve Serrata will inbound. He's from Bayshore on Long Island. Marichek is right up on him.
That'll tell you a story right there. 10-0 and shots on goal. And Hofstra has got an opportunity to get there first.
Wolakovitz, number 39.
Stouffer on him.
Like a blanket, too. Double team. McNamara came over to help out. And results in a lost opportunity for the moment for Hofstra. Here come the Flying Dutchmen. They're down 3-0. We're midway through quarter number 1. Loudenschlager on the move against Scaramuzino, who's draped all over him. A play-on situation, and now they'll stop it.
That was a good example of what happens if you get beat body position, what you have to do. And Scaramuzino, you got to make sure he doesn't score if you get beat. There it is. That's Loudenschlager, but watch. He says, uh-oh, he's going. I got to stop him anyway I can. I got to turn him back. I'll take a 30-second penalty instead of the unsettled goal. So he just holds him, and Syracuse will be man down.
Now let's check the man-up play for Hofstra.
Brian Foresta just came off, and it seemed to me there should be too many men on the field. I don't know.
Now you get a whistle to stop play. Let's see what this one's all about. It is against Hofstra.
Yeah, Foresta came off, and nobody else came on, so you would have to assume there was a problem. A little mix-up on who's in at what time.
Hofstra had been 13 for 45 in these man-up or extra-man situations. Syracuse leads it 3-0.
Long pass.
Right on the money. Look at the ball movement here as Burns comes in. The goalie backed up into his own cage.
He was headed south, wasn't he? He really went back in that cage. It was a nice long pass. They were in a kind of a zone ride, and they just passed it right over the zone down into the goal area almost of Hofstra, but Syracuse not able to get a goal, but they do have possession.
Last time out, Syracuse played at Brown in a very slow natural surface field. Of course, throughout the Northeast with all the heavy rains and precipitation here this spring, it's slow footing outside on natural turf, but Syracuse adjusted well on that particular day, and now they're back on the footing they love.
I got help. Who's going? Bobby, who's going?
Marichek has it. Gary Gate. Paul Gate. Ball started to move before he had the ball, but Zoberti's going to get it. Zoberti eludes one man. He's got Paul Gate, and this is trouble, but again they knock it out of Paul's stick. Loose in front. Doug Edmonds not handled cleanly there on the far side by Katie. Hofstra lucky to come away with it. Now let's see if they can get it upfield.
Syracuse attack, playing good defense. Scaramuzino in. They'll double him.
And he's going to split the double team and lose the ball as a result. Gary Gate dribbles it away from pressure, saves it.
And the crowd gives him a round of applause. Nice job by Gate. Gary?
You know, that's a phase or a part of this game that's really new on the turf. Zoberti has it deflected high in the air. Dumpson pulls it down. You can learn to dribble the ball.
Yeah.
Shot, it's wide, but Syracuse will turn it over. They didn't have the angle to pursue the ball, and closest to it was Tommy Byrne.
Byrne was there, number 2, when the ball went over the line, so Syracuse will One thing I'll tell you, Dave, it seems like when Syracuse tries to get that ball inside, pass it in the crease, there's a lot of sticks and bodies. It's really congested, and the ball's down on the ground a lot.
We've seen more deflections already in this game than we've seen in the previous games combined.
Well, I think credit to Hofstra's defense with getting the sticks up and trying to knock down those passes and not giving up anything. Syracuse a little bit of a zone here early. Now they're going to jump with Marichek, and they get the ball way over.
They go to McGee. Mike McGee handling it. Near sideline now. The man is McGinley with the ball. Mike McGinley legs it up. Does a good job to go by Schluter and Burns. Mike McGinley looking to his left and right wings. He goes right. Looking for their first shot. There it is, and a score. Wolakovich gets the goal. Steve Wolakovich gets the goal on the first shot, and it took over 11 minutes for Hofstra to get a shot on Matt Palin.
Well, it all started off with that attempted double team. There you go. There's a nice shot by Wolakovich. One hopper on this turf. And there you see the congratulations as Wolakovich put it past Matt Palin. But one of the things you have to remember is it all started from an unsettled situation as they beat the double team at the midfield line.
3 Hofstra 1 with 4:44 remaining in the first period.
Unassisted goal. 3-1. Now Kirk Pratt coming away with the ball. He was a Syracuse faceoff man.
Oh, they lost it. Amaya lost it momentarily. Got it again.
Corello is out there, number 4. He's staying on now. He was a faceoff man. Scaramuzzino hustles off with Laudenschlager. Syracuse has the ball in the box with John Zilberti.
Oh, long pass.
There's Earl Hall going left, shooting, saved nicely by Janot. And from behind, a push.
That's going to cost Earl, I think. Push or a trip. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Let's see. It's going to be a push. 30 seconds.
Syracuse penalty.
30 seconds.
Technical. 30
Man up
second
for
pushing
Hofstra.
foul. Called on number 7, Earl Hall. 30 seconds.
There's the push right there by Earl Hall.
And as we've mentioned this year, you must serve your own penalty.
Yep.
Down to 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Mike McGee, Mike Lacrosse. Cooper has it. Now Laudenschlager, and McGee is the point man on this man-up situation. Here's Lacrosse. Wolakovich, McGee in front. Lacrosse at point-blank range. They tried to quick stick it in, and they keep possession of it.
Nice look. On that, you have to have a lot of movement. You can't stand around because the man down team's in the zone, and you really got to move the ball quickly to beat that zone.
There's a good opportunity. Wolakovich just wide. And Matt Palin rushing out of the nets beats the blue shirts to the ball, and Syracuse gets it.
And McCabe also got a stick up on that to make it alter the shot, I guess is the new term from basketball. You really can alter them if you put some aluminum on it. At any rate, Matt Palin quickly out of the goal there for the Orangemen. Penalties up, so everybody's even, as Matt was going to take his time anyway. Little zone here by the Dutchman on the ride at the midfield, and they'll let him come up a little bit, and then you'll see some movement by Riccio, 21, on the right as you look there, closest to Palin.
Forresta's up there as well. They pass it across, and Rodney dumps it. Tough man to the catch. Now he goes down to Zilberti, who feeds behind the cage to Marichek. Behind the back and in by Gary Gate from way outside.
You asked whether we'd see that. Maybe not out of Marichek, but certainly out of Gate from Marichek. And you know, it really is, as Marichek gets set, nice pass by the freshman. And there you see them sliding over. It was Katie sliding over. And you got to play him stick on stick, Dave. So if the stick all of a sudden goes back the other way, you really have an advantage. And Gary Gate puts that one past Janone.
He was 8 yards away and moving away from the goal. When you'd least expect it, here it comes. Syracuse now up 4-1, just under 3 minutes to go. Pratt and Corello again on the face, and it rolls back to Paulgate, who overruns it. being pursued there by Serrata, who takes it away.
Good
Nice
hustle.
job.
Oh,
And Gate comes back to separate him from the ball, but now Mike Lacrosse. If they hustle, it's a 3-on-2. He feeds Wolakovich over his head. Now they get it down to Forrester. Forrester with McCabe against him. It's a tough man to operate against.
I tell you, you don't want to hold on to the ball too much when McCabe's on you.
McNamara is now on Lacrosse. Mike Lacrosse. He bumps him.
Lots of aluminum.
Knocks the ball loose, picks it up again, and the dish. Wolakovich will take it from behind.
Stouffer on him.
He's got a lot of size working for him. That's the time remaining in this first quarter. Outside now to Serrata.
Well, they have to be patient. It's not a big lead, 3 goals. You don't want to take bad shots.
Serrata moving on Paul Gate.
Nice check.
And Paul dislodged the ball from behind, and he's working to get it now, and he does.
They don't get much credit for their defensive skills, and you saw one right there as he got a wrap check and then came back and took it. Nice move by Hofstra.
Yeah, Lautenschlager took it away from Paul Gate, and he gets crunched from behind. You don't see the Gates complain too much, but you saw Paul extend his hand in the direction of the official saying, how much do I have to take? That's going to be a minute.
They're playing him tough. They really are. It started off with Gate having a check and taking the ball away, then starting up the field, but they're saying don't let him get away. And Lautenschlager's there, ball's down, and there's the shot. Wolakovich, 39.
That was a blindside shot too.
It wasn't really a good penalty because he wasn't turning and you had a chance to get the ball. What they need is the ball, not a man-up situation for Syracuse.
Get the feeling Paul Gate wants to make the Hofstra goalie pay for that?
We'll see.
Zilberti. Burns. And the rebound taken by Hofstra. Donaghy being pursued by Dumpson.
Dumpson playing great defense. They're man up. They're taking their
doing
time.
all he can to kill off the clock.
That's a push.
And Donaghy comes back right in the face of Dumpson. Van Daniels, the defender number 34, actually involved there. He just got in the game, I think, for the first time.
That's right. Remember, they were man down, and they were trying to work some time off the clock, and Rodney Dumpson says, I thought it was a pretty good move. At any rate, he'll be in the penalty box, and now I think they'll both be man down. Well, they'll be even with 5-on-5, but let's see what I don't see anybody in the box there. There they are. So Dumpson's in the box for Syracuse, as is Wolakovich. He is due to come out in a short period of time, so they're even for the time being.
Good first quarter.
Yeah.
They will award possession, as you see, to Hofstra. Mike McGee. It's going to start at about the 48-yard line.
Scaramazino right there with a stick, too.
There he is, protecting the ball nicely, and then losing it.
And now McGee a little upset. Scaramazino, he really laid the aluminum on him. From the time he got the ball to the time he lost it, he must have hit him 6 times with a stick. Legally. Checking him.
As they say in radio, the hits just keep on coming.
Nice one, I like that.
Here's Gary Gate, and he is really accelerating. Faking, going to the slot, giving up the ball to Maricek, who comes off the screen and finds Paul Gate. Whistle and a timeout taken by Syracuse. 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Syracuse takes time.
Penalty is off, so everybody's even, and they're going to take a little timeout.
12-10. Cornell 10.
And there is John Desko.
Maryland 13, Virginia 9.
Talking to some people out there.
Beats the Army 12-1. Late in the third.
Coming up in a week or so, we'll tell you about that. The next cablecast you'll see on many of these same systems. Wherever you're watching today, be it in New England on New England Sports Network, if you're a home team sports viewer in the Maryland area, Virginia, or if you're watching in Philadelphia for the first time on Sports 8, we'd like to hear from you, so drop us a line. Care of Super Sports at Cook Cablevision, 500 South Salina Street in Syracuse. 132.02. Under the umbrella, Syracuse with a most impressive record here at home.
McGee, number 8, had the ball, and we see him. There's a 1, check, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Did you see something the officials didn't see?
Boy, I'll tell you, bounced up off his stick. That's what they'll tell you. Scaramazino knew where the ball was going, and now it's going to be a timeout. Blue.
Wow, this is unusual to see this in lacrosse. We've seen it in basketball a zillion times. Back-to-back timeouts on a critical inbounds play late in the game. I don't think I've ever seen it in lacrosse, especially not in the first quarter.
Occasionally you'll get that just to have a word with the official as you walk out to talk to your team, just to let them know that perhaps you weren't pleased with a call. But
good crowd on hand at the Dome today. Fans lining both sides of the lower stands here in the Carrier Dome.
As usual, the weather's ideal in Syracuse.
A little bit warmer in here than our last game.
Yep. John Desko, the man with the dark jacket, talking.
Started to say, Dale, our next Syracuse lacrosse cablecast will have the Orangemen on the road against Hobart, the 9-time Division III national champions, and you can toss out Division III.
Yes.
When Syracuse and Hobart go at it, that is a war, and this time it'll be on the road at Hobart, a battle of defending national champions. And we'll have it for you on many of these same cable systems. Check with your system to make sure they're carrying that date. You don't want to miss that one. Zoberti from behind. Dumps in. Paul Gate. Gary Gate fakes. Gary Gate pass from Maricek. That was not a shot. That was a pass. And so Syracuse loses possession.
That'll be a timeout while everybody adjusts. 4-1, 29 seconds left. First period.
It's been a long first quarter. A lot of balls going out of bounds, and the clock will stop each and every time. Hofstra has really played well, especially defensively.
They're leaving Zoberti free to do a little roaming down here as he got some help go after the goalie.
So after both of those timeouts, looks like neither team will get a shot on goal. Although Palem has to stop that one. And time will run out shortly here in the first quarter. Can they beat the clock? Would have counted, but the save is made by Janone. And that's the end of the first quarter with Syracuse leading Hofstra 4-1.
Time now for our second lucky number 5 again from the WA.
Second quarter is about to begin. Dale, as the first quarter ended, we saw a shot virtually right at the horn, and the ball was released by the shooter before the horn sounded ending the first quarter. But it's a little bit different than basketball, where once the shot is released, the horn can go off.
That's right.
And the shot would still count. In lacrosse, how does it work?
It's got to be through that invisible plane for it to count before the horn or the whistle. So that wouldn't probably have counted. But let's look at the first quarter stats here. 16-3 in the shot department. A very telling statistic. Ground balls pretty even. Saves. Obviously, Palem has not had as many shots taken at him. Janone up with 8. Face-offs 4-2 Syracuse. I think that's an important statistic early because they've really made a lot of the face-off attempts. And right now they're just checking the goal down there that seems to be not anchored perhaps, or Matt Palem not happy with the way it was moving. Don't forget, Janone went into that goal early in the first quarter. Might have knocked it off its moorings.
We love Roy 3. That's Roy Simmons the third, I presume.
Face-offs have been, for the most part, picked up by the wingmen, the Gates.
It is Corello again against Kirk Pratt. And another slow-forming face-off. Once again, the wingman Paul Gate comes in to play it. And immediately he goes to Pratt, who stays on. He's got an avenue. He dishes it off. They feed it into Zoberti, and Maricek Marechek all alone at the back door, just swatted it home.
You know what was really great about that is you could see the face-off. It came over to the bottom. Then they got the ball up, and it was an unsettled situation, and they moved the ball so quickly as they slide. There's Marechek all by himself, open, because of the fact that they got that unsettled situation off the face-off. There's a pass by Pratt. Watch him. Look him. Oh, boy. He slid by as Doug Edmonds moved out. A little bit of confusion on who had the ball. When there's an unsettled situation, the defensemen are supposed to talk, and right there they left somebody open on the crease.
And Pratt himself picks it up. His feet inside, and a great save at point-blank range by Janone against Paul Gate. What a nightmare that's got to be to see one of the Gates coming right at you. And Syracuse quickly comes back. Paul Gate overshot John Zilberti, and he was so over-anxious he just dropped his stick and lowered his head.
Let me tell you about that shot you were talking about, the Gates. I was down there while they were warming up, and he missed the cage. Gary Gate missed the cage, and I stuck my foot out and stopped it on one hop, and it sent a tremor through my whole skeletal system. And that was on one hop. Heck of a shot. Ball all the way across to Janone. They got a 4 across there. They want to make sure they've got some help down there. They're not sending anybody down. Nice move by Byrne on a face dodge. And Wolakovich up with it. Stouffer on him.
Wolakovich has the lone goal for Hofstra. This is Ken Curry. Loudenslager's on his right. Wolakovich on the left. Stouffer comes up to meet him. He goes around, working one-on-one. Palem played it perfectly, deflecting it to the far corner where Lacrosse is there to keep it for the Dutchman.
You know, you said play it perfectly. He went down when the ball went down, got his stick down, and then when the ball popped up, he slid his body right up with the bounce to ride it up over the cage. Nice job by Matt Palem. There's Lacrosse and McNamara. Boy, he's big.
Oh, the ball squirted in front. Lacrosse there, and he scores. And now Schluter gets into it. Maybe Wolakovich, who is corralled by a trio of Orangemen.
No goal.
No, it was Ken Curry. No goal is the call?
Yeah, he was in the crease when the ball went in. That's illegal. I think. Let's see. Okay, so it's going to stay blue ball, but there was push. We'll see if we can pick it up. That's Ken Curry. There's the trap right there, so he's got the ball. Now there's the push. Right, Curry was pushed from behind by Schluter, so they called the push. It was a play on. I thought it would be a play on. At any rate, the call is no goal, but it will stay Hofstra ball. Ken Curry takes a rest.
Stouffer playing Wolakovich again. It's getting physical out there.
Yeah, Curry's back in with Schluter on him, and that's Stouffer on Wolakovich.
We're in the opening 2 minutes of the second quarter. It's 5-1 Syracuse. Outside now, Serrata starts. Going against Persing, the bounce shot, and Palem is there. Help from Scaramuzzino in front. Nice outlet pass to Persing. Persing quickly gets it down to Zilberti. Marechek goes to the back door. Now Marechek from behind. And a shot on the crossing angle by Burns. What a job by Janone to gather it up and rake it in. Here comes Curry back for Hofstra. Scaramuzzino meets him, so he gives it up. This Wolakovich again? No, it's number 19 this time. It's Sean Bolger.
And that's McCabe all over him. McCabe will take it away from you. I'll tell you, he's a super defenseman, and he just doesn't play good defense. He creates offense by knocking the ball down. They get rid of it, and they bring it back over to Serrata.
Bolger is the man who led Hofstra in scoring last year. Here's Lacrosse against McNamara. He took away the angle for the shot, and Syracuse is going to get it.
Lacrosse brought the ball in. They made him change the stick angle. Give him credit for getting the shot off, but Syracuse was there, and Matt Palem down to get the ball.
Hofstra is a team that uses signs on the sideline, I guess, for defensive assignments. One of the assistant coaches holds up some kind of sign with a number on it. or an expression.
Right.
What does that say? Beep? Jeep?
Deep, I believe it says. Yep. Right there, Syracuse 3 across. They got 2 guys in the midfield and quickly get rid of the ball. Nice clear.
And Gary Gate has it. He'll draw Donahue. He'll get it back. Saved by Janone against Joe Bonacci. And here's a quick transition game by Hofstra. Donahue with a big stick. He wants to give it up and head off.
You bet.
He does exactly that. Gets it to Sean Bolger. Now Bolger will play from behind against Bonacci, the transfer from Navy. Schluter's in front to help defensively. Bolger got a height advantage on Bonacci. Wolakovic is at the point. Bad
nice
pass.
move by Schluter, too. Ball came within 5 yards of his man. He checked his stick.
They forced that ball into the middle, and Schluter disrupted the play. Cooper has it now, and he spins away. John Cooper looks for the return pass. He gets it in the slot. Feeds right into Lacrosse. And Mike Lacrosse scores on a great feed from John Cooper. It was a good play all around.
It certainly was. They got good movement, and they got Lacrosse open one-on-one, and he was close enough to the goal. Watch as that's Cooper gets the ball in, forced it in, and I think he kind of snuck in there, and they didn't think he was going to be right there, and he was right behind number 18 for Syracuse, Jimmy McNamara.
They had to lob that ball over McNamara, too.
Yeah, he saw it coming and tried to stop in midair and get back, but Lacrosse got the ball, and when he's one-on-one.
Hofstra's second goal of the game scored by number
now, you know
one.
what Hofstra could use here is a nice face-off.
Number 7.
They don't get it.
5-2, Syracuse, and Kirk Pratt in possession.
By number 1, Mike.
Giving it up to Zilberti.
Syracuse 5 and Hofstra 2.
Maricek has it now. You're right. Hofstra, having lost that faceoff now, needs just to settle down and take some good shots. They're not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination.
And they've been playing good defense, good team defense. They've been collapsing on people and not getting set up one-on-ones.
Byrne on Zilberti does a good job.
Goalie's out. That's it. There he gets out.
They come away with the ball, too.
Buck.
Steve Buck.
He's looking for the ball on a return. He's way up the sideline. Too long a pass.
Janone to help out on this clear. Janone throwing it to nobody in particular. Tom Byrne was expected by Janone to be heading up the sideline, but he never moved.
Well, Janone's had a good game. He's got some 11 saves in the 9:50 left in the second quarter, so he's been busy.
Syracuse has Dan Cahey on for the first time, number 30. This is Amaya. Good spin move against Edmonds.
Nice feed. Oh, it's a shot. Behind the back by Z. Not there.
Quickly, the ball marked for play again with 9.5 to go. Earl Hall, we're in the first half. 5-2 lead. Hall made the spin, but he made it from too far out.
Hoteling also in behind on attack. 13.
Here's the feed to Amaya. Wrap shot. Rebound by Burns. He gives it to his goalie in close quarters.
There's the good defense we talked about. Nice outlet.
Up ahead he goes to Katie. Katie with a big stick wants to head off. Wolakovic has it. Not particularly fast. Stouffer's on him. Rushing on is McGee. McGee was hoping to get a pass as he made a beeline toward the crease. Here's a nice feed and a score.
Nice jump. Bill Stanley got that coming out of the penalty or the substitution area, and he beat. I don't remember who was with him. It happened so quickly. We'll see if we can see what happened. But they both came out of the substitution area, and he got a big jump. There's the shot, just a one-hopper. And I think it was on 43, so that would be McGee for Syracuse.
Yeah. And guess what, Dale? We have 2 Mike McGees in the game.
I was just going to look and said, is that Mike McGee? So
you and I looked at each other like,
oh no.
39, Wolakovic. And it's
a good hustle. Hofstra up to a 2-goal deficit now, 5-3, and they are hustling and playing good team defense.
Wolakovic gets the assist. Illegal procedure on the faceoff. The wingman had it in too early.
So Carl Eilenberg tells us it's Syracuse ball, but I think they're trotting the other way. So that will be Hofstra ball. So Syracuse guilty of illegal procedure.
And Hofstra very definitely has Syracuse a little bit rattled at this point.
Well, they're
Laudenschlager with the ball now, 13. Here's the feed to Stanley. McCabe. Delayed call. They're going to play on until there's a change of possession here.
Flag down. Shot.
There's a shot, a kick save by Palom, and now the assessment that'll go against Syracuse in all likelihood.
Man up goal. This will be their 4th attempt for Hofstra, but they've yet to cash in on it. But watch McCabe. It's just a up over. Let's see if I can take it away. And he just
Syracuse, 1 minute slashing.
came up on the head, and that'll cost him a minute. So McCabe is going to sit.
1 minute slashing the call against Syracuse.
So this is the 4th man up attempt for Hofstra. They have, as we said, yet to put one in.
Dale, I'm really impressed by the numbers of Hofstra fans who've come up for this game.
Well, this has got to be a real big game for them. And it's not a bad trip up from the island.
Earlier this year they played Virginia, and now they've got Syracuse, the defending national champions. And playing well now.
They're moving the ball well on the man up.
Foresta gets free. His shot deflected. It's off the stick of McGee. And he's tripped as he tries to get to the back line. No hard feelings.
Give
not at
Matt
all.
Palom credit. Boy, a lot of speed. And Matty got out there, but not fast enough. But good hustle. There's the ball. And there's the hustle. And then he tried to get up and get the stick over so he could be there.
Now Mike McGee for Hofstra to Foresta, number 20. Back to McGee. Stanley. The big difference in this game is the settled offense now.
Nice
Hofstra
save
against Lacrosse. We said earlier on they had really no half-quarter settled offense, but now that they've settled into it, it's been a much different game. 5-3 Syracuse. Stouffer will give it up for Gary Gate. Let's see if he legs it by himself. Foresta took his eyes off.
Well, he didn't want to be offside.
Paul Gate can't handle it. Paul Gate has it taken away by Cooper. The British Columbians clash right there.
Oh, Gary hung his stick a little bit, and they got a piece of it. Good hustle by Hofstra.
And here come the Flying Dutchmen, down 5-3, playing with increasing confidence. Tommy Byrne giving it up to Mike Lacrosse.
Unsettled situation now. I think they want to settle it down. They get all their people in.
Sean Bolger back to Lacrosse. A goal here would bring Hofstra within 1. McNamara. Oh, Lacrosse went down. He popped right up like a jack-in-the-box. Down again. Loose on the turf right in front, and it's Schluter who pays the price. Stouffer tries to pick it up. He does. Palom almost was blindsided there for a moment by Lacrosse. Mike Lacrosse is the man we're talking about.
They got him listed at 6 foot 180. Doesn't look quite that big. And Syracuse now going to bring it up as they get it to the middle.
Paul Gate to Rodney Dumpson. Donahue puts the hit on him, and Rodney Dumpson bounces right off. Here's Paul Gate. Looks for the low, hard one. Syracuse will have it.
Not a bad shot, actually, because Steve Buck was on him, and he lets him know that he can take the shot from out there, so it gets him thinking a little bit. And he saw Zilberti back there for the backup. So the Z-man's got it, and he will bring it in. He's been kind of quiet. And, of course, due to the Dutchman playing good defense and holding on to the ball offensively.
No American has scored for Syracuse in this game. We've got 2 by Gary, 1 by Paul Gate, and 2 by Maricek.
People wonder why we have the Canadian flag up there. Nice defense on Zilberti by Byrne. They clear through. Oh, double team on Gary. Paul sets a pick.
Gary's shot deflected off of Maricek. A lot of hitting in there.
Lots of sticks down there.
And the call will go against Hofstra.
Yeah, that's Steve Buck. He thought he had a call, but it was against him on a moving pick.
Steve Buck, by the way, is also out of Canandaigua. And before the game today, a couple of these Canandaigua athletes on the Hofstra squad had a chance to watch another friend of theirs, the Syracuse quarterback, Billy Shaw. Spring football practice preceding this game today, and they all played lacrosse together. Rodney Dumpson now makes the move. Going by Stan Krause. Syracuse will keep it. 5:18 to go in the first half. It is a 5-3 game. Steve Buck comes back on. He's a 5'9", well, 6 foot, 185-pound sophomore. Brian Donahue of Long Beach checks out.
You hear him talking, go through the pick. He's talking to his defenseman. Oh, and look on the Maricek there, but look at all the blue shirts. When you pass that ball into the crease, there's just a mass of blue shirts there.
Matt Cady was down on the ground.
He was withholding the ball from play, at least. No, he wasn't. Syracuse was Maricek, apparently, withholding the ball, so that'll cost him possession.
Boy, if Hofstra goes to the locker room down 5-3 or down 5-4, they're going to be one confident team going in.
Well, you know, I think last year, although we didn't see the game, it was down there. I believe it was close all the way up until the beginning of the fourth quarter, and I saw Coach Simmons talking about it. He said, this is a quality team. Make no mistake about it. And he said last year it took us a whole 4 quarters to get to him.
Here comes Mike McGee for Hofstra. Will we see the two Mike McGees collide today at some time?
That's McGee and Scaramazino.
It's me and my shadow right here for McGee with Scaramazino all over him.
They're taking their time now. They're going to run their offense.
John Cooper outside. Nice fake as he went left, came back right. Decided not to shoot for some reason. And McGee again. Deliberate offense this time by Hofstra. Cooper. McGee.
Interesting, we've seen McNamara all first half on Lacrosse.
Danowski gave the sign to back it out. Start again. Cooper's shot hit somebody. Deflects high in the air. And it's regained. The feed in the crease. Right in close. Score! Off the unsettled situation. Sean Bolger comes up with the ball. There was a hit after the shot. That's going to go against Syracuse.
Unnecessary roughness. Cost them a minute. So now they've lost a goal and they've lost a player for a minute. It's Persing, I believe.
Sean Bolger in the right spot. He gets the goal. Now watch. Boom. Stouffer got it. Number 32.
Was it Stouffer? I saw Persing come off. He'd come off anyway in that situation. Syracuse will be man down. So they really did a nice job there. They were patient, and when they had the opportunity, they got it. And Syracuse lost a little bit of composure, perhaps. 5-4. Game tightens up.
Good lacrosse game. Face-offs are still in Syracuse's favor, but you can definitely see the momentum turning and Hofstra becoming more comfortable offensively.
This is a real important face-off once again.
Hofstra makes it a 5-4 game and an unassisted goal by Sean Bolger, number 19. Sean Bolger,
and that is
goal, number 19.
Carello, and there's a whistle.
We're going to have a timeout before the face-off. So we've got a timeout with 3:58 to go, and Syracuse takes a timeout.
Goal was by number 19 unassisted.
You can see everybody trying to get some things straightened out.
Dale, that last goal by Hofstra, they wanted to really slow it down and take a good shot. A couple of times the coach Danowski signaled for them to back out, start again. Very deliberate. Then they pass the ball into the crease. It's deflected, and it's just an opportunistic situation.
Absolutely. They love to play up-tempo. They'll run and race, but they don't want to get into one of those with Syracuse. They want to be able to do it when they want to be able to do it. Right now, there's the ball down. That's just an unassisted goal right there. There's the hit. It was an unsettled situation, but what they had done is they settled down the offense, made the quick pass, and then Syracuse, trying to slide, got there a little bit late. And will now be a man down. 3:58 left. But you're right. I think they'll play up tempo, but they're not afraid of playing their offense either. So Coach Danowski and the Hofstra Flying Dutchman doing a good job against Syracuse. Matt Palin, who's got 4 saves.
Danowski, by the way, is in his 4th year at Hofstra. They were 4-9, then 7-9, then the big turnaround last year, going 12-3. Right now they're at 6-1 and looking very good here against a heavily favored Syracuse team.
A little telling statistic: they got 3 shots off in the first quarter and 10 so far in the second quarter. So you can tell the difference in the Hofstra Flying Dutchman.
Neither team able to score with an extra man. Pratt on the faceoff, giving it to Schluter. Wisely gives it up for Zilberti.
We'll see if Syracuse now, they're going to slow it down. They don't have anybody out there. Now they're coming out.
Burns and Gate come on, and now Paul Gate will come into the picture. There's the bench area that they just vacated.
You hear him saying ISO. They're waiting for Gary to ISO. No jump.
Slaga is playing against Gary Gate. Here's Zilberti, got the pipe.
Syracuse ball. Good hustle by Janone, but not fast enough as Syracuse got there in the person of Tom Maricek.
Janone's been very impressive in the cage for Hofstra.
He sure has. He's done a nice job.
Only 2 visiting teams have ever won here against Syracuse: Cornell and Cortland.
Yeah, one of them was a Division III team.
Zilberti and Maricek. Syracuse would dearly love to get an insurance goal here going in at halftime. Maricek, he was almost prone and still got the shot away.
Well, they doubled him nicely at the end with Byrne and Edmonds.
That big mistake there as they tried to get it to Krause. Ball went over his head, and Gary Gate has it. Gate may take matters into his own hands. He does. Zilberti had it behind, and Janone with a loose ball.
He's got 4 seconds there. He just got it out of there. Now the transition game. They're loose. McGinley loose momentarily for Hofstra, but they're going to settle it down and wait till they get everybody set.
They give it to Loudenschlager.
They're going with that 4 people across in the line. They got a lot of help down there for the goalie. They don't want to. They got Syracuse outnumbered.
Nice one-on-one move,
nice
but
job.
Loudenschlager lost it, and here is a 2-on-none.
Nice
and a save by Janone as he made the save of the game against Greg Burns. Fired up, Dave Janone, and why not?
Well, that's got to pick you up. Ball knocked down just outside the crease area. And watch, there's the ground ball. Nice scoot, and Burns picks it up. 1-on-1, and oh, a foot.
Work it.
Janone got a foot, the left foot on it. Great job. There's the ball down. Here's Burns. Watch the left foot. There it was. That's why the direction changed so quickly. He didn't even feel it. He's pumped.
Under 2 minutes to go. Hofstra can tie this game up.
Nice look, nice clear.
Nice hesitation move there by McGinley. Hofstra looking for the equalizer. Mike Lacrosse with the ball. Wolakovich has it now. John Danowski asking his team to slow it down and be patient. Stouffer is on Wolakovich.
They got a lot of time. There's Wolakovich, Stouffer, 32 on him as they clear through.
Foresta's in front. Loudenschlager going behind.
Cutting out from the midfield, way down, way out, and then down into the crease, and then circling back out again.
Wolakovich still with the ball.
Yep. He didn't see any cutters that he liked, so he's going to keep it still.
This is one of the longest individual possessions we've seen in years. Here's the shot.
Nice
It got the crossbar. And Schluter comes away with it with 45 seconds to go. Phil Schluter, who can leg it the length of the field. And he's doing it right now. And he gives it up.
Offside.
We have an offsides.
Offside.
Very rare that you see Syracuse make that mistake.
I'd like to see that save again. I don't know if we can do it. I'll try to get a look at it. I thought Matt Palin might have gotten his face mask on it. Here's the move by Wolakovich. It's a hopper. Yes, absolutely, with the face.
It was all face.
It was all face. Nothing but mesh. Steel mesh.
Wonder if he could read the writing on the ball as that came.
that tells you why a lot of people don't like to be goalies. But 30 seconds left.
Didn't hurt, did it?
Just rattled his brain a little, I suppose. Nice check by Schluter on
Good job, and
Cooper.
McCabe comes away with it, but they can't control the ball, not yet at least. And still not now.
Nice.
Here's Lacrosse. Can he tie it? Yes!
No goal.
He tied the game, but there was a flag prior to the shot.
Yep, and it's flagged down in the area. Wolakovitz is going to tell, coach is telling him, keep your mouth shut. The flag was thrown long before, well, I say long before the shot was unnecessary roughness. And he's telling him, cool down, don't lose your composure. Let's see what happened. There's the ball that was off the foot. There's, yeah, that was definitely
No goal.
unnecessary roughness
Number 39, Steve Wolakovitz.
or a cross check.
Illegal check. One-handed. No
Yep.
goal.
And so that wipes out what would have been the tying goal by Mike Lacrosse. One thing about Hofstra in these unsettled situations, they are coming up smelling like roses.
Well, yeah, you know, a lot of that is, I mean, a lot of it's luck, but a lot of it's being in the right place at the right time. When you combine the hustle and the right bounce, you do come up smelling like a rose. Right now, they're man down, and Syracuse may opt to hold on to the ball or at least not give it up.
And get possession to begin the second half.
Right.
It looks like they're certainly going to do that. And so the first half ends in uncharacteristic fashion for Syracuse. They disdain the final shot, and it's a fired-up Hofstra team heading to the locker room, down by only 1 goal. Syracuse leads it 5-4. We'll be back. Our halftime guest is Gary Gate. Halftime of today's Syracuse game against Hofstra, and I'm joined by Gary Gate, a man who really needs no introductions these days in the lacrosse world. Gary, last year you set the record for goals. You lead Syracuse to an undefeated season. They win the national championship. You're the player of the year in lacrosse, and on top of that all, you unveil the shot that everybody's been talking about, Air Gate. What the heck do you do for an encore this year?
Well, you know, you just go out and you work hard and you try and play mistake-free lacrosse, and that's what I'm trying to do this year. You know, trying to pass the ball a little more than I did last year, because there's a lot more pressure, a lot more teams are looking at me than they did last year. So it is tougher, and there's lots to work for in the games in the future.
Yeah, last year you were the unknown, and now everybody knows you. Do you feel like a marked man when you go out there on the field?
Well, it's definitely different than last year. You know, they always seem to put the best players on you, and they they're worried about you. So it is different than last year. It's a lot tougher, and you just have to learn to play with it. And we have a great team to back me up, so it's no problem.
You know, they used to say about Larry Bird, or Bird himself has said it, that at times he realized he was very good, and he had to play little games against himself, like shoot left-handed, do some other things, so he wouldn't lose his interest. Have you found yourself doing that?
Oh, definitely. I always have fun in practice and that. I never just play and go play all the time hard, because playing every day can really get you down, and you can get bored of it. So you got to have fun with it. And Coach Simmons does a good job of making it fun and keeping your interest up.
Is that how the shot came about last year, the air gate shot? Was it a result of the fun that you guys have in practice?
Yeah, it's definitely a result of the fun, and the coach lets us try things in practice, which most coaches I'm sure wouldn't allow, and it just lets you develop yourself more roundedly in your skills.
Coach Simmons always says that this game needs heroes, and you certainly have become one of the top heroes in the sport. As you travel around following the championship last year, wherever you went, what did people want to know about the shot?
They just wanted to know, most people that hadn't seen it are like, how did you jump over the net? And for some strange reason, it was announced in the game right in the heat of the battle that I jumped over the cage. And I didn't, and a lot of people kept asking me how I jumped over a 6-foot cage. So they kept asking me that, and I kept having to tell them, no, I just shot the ball from behind. I didn't jump over the cage.
No part of your body went over the top of that cage?
No, nothing.
It must be an optical illusion then.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, in one of our earlier games we cablecast this year, we saw you go airborne, almost parallel to the ground, maybe about a foot off the ground, and I think my partner called it subway gate.
Yeah, well, that was just a little change-up of the over-top. I think maybe the goalies are looking for that or whatever, but it's a little bit easier than shooting over the top. And, you're having fun out there, and things happen.
Now, in today's game, we're looking at another fellow from out west in Canada who's playing for Hofstra. Have you kind of blazed the trail now? The gates opened up the way for everybody to come south?
Well, the honest truth, he was out here before Paul and I were, so he started a little before us, but I don't think he's had quite the success. He's a great player, and it's nice to play against him. At first, I didn't realize what school he was going to, and I didn't think I'd ever have the chance to play against him. And then last year, we picked him up again in our schedule, and it was kind of nice.
I want to know this. Your high school didn't have a lacrosse team. Didn't they know you and your brother were in school?
Oh, well, we played all the other sports in high school, and the club lacrosse out west is very strong, and that's what we played. So there was really not a great need for the lacrosse in high school because the club system was so strong.
Well, Gary, I haven't seen anybody yet who can shut you down, so I wonder if you were playing Gary Gate, what would you do?
What would I do? I'd probably get a guy like Paul to cover me.
Can Paul stop you?
Oh, definitely. We're very competitive, and we know each other so well that definitely he knows the things I'm going to do and how I'm going to play.
What's your future after this year in this sport and athletically?
Athletically, well, I'm just going to try and play, great lacrosse, mistake-free, and, hopefully get a couple more national titles under the belt. And then I'm going towards education, and I'm looking for a good job. I'm a marketing major, so, that comes first. And maybe we'll get into a little bit of that pro box or whatever. I'm not too sure about my future.
Well, I hope the league is still around by the time you're eligible.
Yeah, it would be nice. It'd be nice to get a chance to play in that.
That's Gary Gate, our halftime guest. Back in the Carrier Dome at halftime, Dave Cohen along with Dale Drypulcher. We have one of the best games we've had here in a few seasons, Dale. 5-4, Syracuse leading Hofstra. Hofstra's actually put the ball in the nets 2 more times, but they were both disallowed. Let's look at the Core's halftime highlights now, and you'll see some excellent shot-making, save-making, and all-around play in this game.
Good hustle by Hofstra and Syracuse. Gary Gate got things off to a rousing start with the behind-the-back shot. Put it past Janone, the goalie for Hofstra, but he's had an exceptional game, really recovered after that one.
Gary's had 2 goals in the game, the Canadian connection accounting for all 5.
There's another shot by Gate, saved by Janone, way down low. Nice job. He's looked very, very good today.
That was against Paul Gate, one of 13 saves by Janone.
You'll also see him here on Bonacci, number 1. Watch Bonacci. Will get the ball, take the shot. Once again, just a nice save, and then the rebound save, and up and out for the goalie from Hofstra.
We talked about the Flying Dutchman's offense coming into gear in the second half. Here's an unsettled situation. Sean Bolger ends up with it.
Bolger did, then got hit afterwards, and that's going to cost Syracuse a minute, but absolutely a good play on an unsettled situation.
That made it 5-4, and now watch Matt Palin use the goalie's best friend, his mask.
Yeah, right there. You see it off the mask and then rides it up. He doesn't see the ball, then he finds it. But his defenseman, Schluter, comes by and helps him out. Great game. Going to be a great second half.
And that takes us to our ADP halftime stats. Syracuse getting twice as many shots on goals, but quality shots by Hofstra in that second quarter, and that has put them right back in this game.
No statistic for hustle, but both teams hustling, but Hofstra, I think, really doing a good job.
And you know, with those 13 saves, they've all been big. We'll be back with this second half in just a moment. The third quarter begins with Syracuse in possession and a man up as a result of a penalty near the end of the first half, and Gary Gate quickly taking advantage. We'll show it to you here as time permits. 6-4 Syracuse. Dave Cohen and Dale Drypolcher. Syracuse in white with the ball. They have not been behind in the game. We have a delayed call now, a flag thrown in the area of the bench.
It's going to be an offside.
And an offside call will go against Brian Foresta of Hofstra. Now let's look at the action to begin the third quarter. Just seconds ago, Syracuse with the man advantage and Gary Gate.
No face-off. They had the ball, and he just blistered it by Janone, who really didn't have much of a chance that he has looked excellent. Gary up with 3 goals so far today.
And Syracuse in the lead now, 6-4. Remember, Hofstra has had 2 goals disallowed in the game. John Zilberti, number 11. Tom Arachek, number 42. This is Paul Gate, number 19, and brother Gary. Into Zilberti, across they go. Shot, saved by Janone. That was a rocket shot off of Rodney Dunson's stick.
They're still man down. So Syracuse should be man up. Again, it must have been a non-releasable penalty. In the box is Brian Foresta.
And he was the man who came in and jumped off sides as he did.
Yeah, so they're going to be man up again. I thought it might have expired. It hasn't, so Syracuse using it again.
Zilberti feeding back to that same spot, same play, mishandled by Dumpson. Rodney shoved to the turf by Kraus, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Off of Kraus, so his man-up situation is over. Syracuse got a man up. That is their only one out of 6. 1 of 6.
Gary Gates going to walk it in.
You can see how crowded that crease is. Those Dutchmen, the defenders, all the sticks. Watch how they move with everybody, and they're always checking sticks whenever they have the opportunity. They'll check it, knock the ball down. They're really tough getting the ball into the crease. It's got to go from a little further outside, like right there. And that's one way to stop it.
John Zilberti taking it outside, shooting into a crowd. Goalie screened down, and Syracuse goes up by 3. Unassisted goal by John Zilberti.
We said they're really packed in on the crease, really forcing you to take shots from outside, or at least the attempt, and screening a little bit right there, I think, cost Janone a really good shot at the ball. So the Z comes up with his first goal today.
Janone has been brilliant when he's been able to get an eye on the ball. That time probably did not see it all that well, if at all.
Just like that, Syracuse up by 3 now, and a little bit of breathing room, I guess, although this game, I don't think there's going to be any breathing room.
Well, Pratt wins the face, and he scoops it up. Pratt coming in, fanning on the shot. Zilberti is there. Byrne knocks him off of it, and it's played by Steve Banalet. Kick out of bounds. Hofstra ball kicked out by Syracuse. Opening 3 minutes of the second half, and it's been all Syracuse after Hofstra went to the locker rooms down only 5-4 at halftime.
Yeah, we thought that that was the time to come out, but of course they were man down, and Gate answered early, and then control of the ball. Syracuse time of possession, if they kept it, would probably be longer, but that doesn't count. In lacrosse, doesn't count anywhere, actually.
Mike McGinley on the sideline. Goes by 2 Syracuse players, and he still has it. He's going to be hit from behind by Scaramuzino. Stouffer underhands it back from McCabe. McCabe with a nifty move back to McNamara. There's 3 Syracuse defenders getting in on the action, and here's McCabe getting it from McNamara. Up ahead into the middle. Schluter feeds Burns. He's got an avenue. He comes in. Saved by Janone.
Nice
and
save.
Janone covers up. What a great play by Janone, the goalie. Foresta up ahead. Katie. Now with the ball to Steve Buck. Wolakovitz, number 39. Cooper comes on, and he'll get it now from Wolakovitz. Here comes Mike McGee for Hofstra, and Steve Scaramuzino into the lower left-hand corner. Bill Stanley coming on now. He had a goal earlier. Gives it up for McGee. There's a quick stick attempt in close. They couldn't convert. Tommy Byrne, and we've got an offside.
Offside.
Matt Palum, the Syracuse goalie. There's Gary Gate. He's got the ball. Player of the Year in college lacrosse in 1988, and probably the odds-on favorite to repeat. Here's his brother Paul. by Danahy. Shoots and scores, beating Janone up high.
That's how quickly they can beat you. You know, they're really bunching up down there in the crease. The attack men having trouble moving and powering from behind. It gets so crowded they go out to the midfield, and Gate gets another goal to add to his brothers, and that's going to make it 8-4 as the second half starts to go in favor of Syracuse.
Paul Gate. Syracuse 8, Hofstra 4.
7 of the 8 Syracuse goals by the Canadian connection. 3 for Gary, 2 for Paul, 2 for Tom Marechek, and 1 for John Zilberti. Syracuse now has doubled Hofstra at 8-4, taking the wind out of their sail.
That's going to be procedure. That's going to go against Hofstra. The roof is starting to fall in a little bit on those little things, and that was a procedure call on a face.
Paul and Gary talking it over. Let's see if they have one of their own plays concocted here. Gary takes it to the right of the box. Now, Paul's got it. Paul bounce feet, bounce shot, and Syracuse keeps it.
High bouncer. See what kind of, got Burns out there.
Paul Gate, by the way, is the bigger of the 2 identical twins. Might have him by 10 or 15 pounds, although it's hard to tell looking at him from up here. This is Paul Gary with the ball. Fake left goes right against Katie and Byrne, and they take it away.
Well, they jumped him. There was 2-on-1 there, and the hold was on because he was looking to get rid of the ball, so that'll be another penalty. And Byrne, along with Katie, there they come. There's the hold was before on Byrne.
Holding penalty called on Hofstra, charge number 2, Tom Byrne. 30 seconds holding called on Hofstra.
Syracuse now a man up, 7th opportunity. Let's check. 4th.
Rodney Dumpson, Paul Gate. Nearly 5 minutes gone here in the 3rd quarter. It's been a big 5 for Syracuse. Oh, Gary Gate wound up for that one. Burns on the exchange with Zilberti. And here's Gary again. Zilberti in close, quick stick attempt. Marechek dumps it, and Janone is down to play it. Now the ride being applied by Burns against 34 Vin Daniels this is.
Now they're trying to force the long pass, and a big mistake, and they got it right there. Nice hustle by Scaramuzzino as they forced the long pass to Banelet. Syracuse putting a lot of pressure on, and when you're going to clear, and you're going to clear against Syracuse, if you make a mistake, you got the Gate brothers or whomever right back in your face.
I thought you were going to say Banelet couldn't handle it. Right at his own bench. 9:38 left 3rd quarter. Here comes Paul Gate. Nobody's playing him.
Whoa. Nice fly ball by Zilberti.
Out to midfield. Stouffer has it and throws it right back to Paul Gate. What stick work.
Yeah, that's the things that Syracuse does so well.
They're like vacuum cleaners out there.
Really sucking up the ground balls as Paul takes his time and gets it back now as Dumpson's going to.
Dumpson's been set up on that particular part of the field just about all game long. Right at the left hash mark. Now he'll go one-on-one, going left, coming back right, off the stack, shoots, and he scores as the goalie was screened out again. Rodney Dumpson gets his first goal of the game, and it is 9-4. Hofstra's in need of a timeout.
He started way out there with Stan Kraus. There's Kraus. He turns him one way and comes back, and now he's got it. Every time he turned, he picked up a step, and then when he had a clear, he just took it on a little sweep. And actually, you know, he wasn't screened. I think Janone was at a disadvantage, but he had a pretty good shot on seeing the ball come out of Dumpson's stick. But see the goals coming from a little further out than maybe before, Dave.
Rodney Dumpson, a man from Long Island, who I guess you could say got away from Hofstra.
Face-off for Hofstra initially. Yeah, it is.
Corello has dominated this season, winning it. Foresta trying to outleg the defense, but he can't get by McCabe. Very few can.
One of the reasons why, now that's going to just off McCabe's stick, he dropped the ball, but one of the reasons you'll see people will not feed people on his side because he takes the ball away. There's the intent. Great shot, guys. There's the intensity of the defenseman as he goes after Foresta.
I mean, he's down there like a middle linebacker, like a catcher.
Yep.
He's got all that defensive intensity of those positions in other sports roll into a lacrosse player.
He was an honorable mention last year All-American. I think it's because he was a freshman.
I didn't see a better one.
No.
Here's McGee against Schluter.
Nice
And,
stick.
hey, guess who he ran into there?
Yeah.
The two Mike McGees did
That's
converge.
Cross.
Nice shot by Mike Lacrosse and help in the cage.
Yeah. Scaramazino in there as goalie number 2, and he breaks out. Look at Scaramazino up at the midfield line. Make it a pass.
He wants it. It's heading his way. He's got it. He's choked up on that stick now. And a nice feed and a good save. May have been the defenseman helping out Janone.
It was. And I tell you, Janone's taken all of those 4 seconds to find people. Syracuse, a lot of pressure on the ride. Ball down. Watch Stouffer.
Against Dennehy. Bonacci's down there. They can't find the ball.
Matt
Stouffer didn't see him. Palem comes out, tries to hook feed it. Palem now dumps it to Bonacci. Palem had something to say to Foresta.
Behind the back.
And here comes the Orangeman in transition. McCabe to Amaya. McCabe fills the gap. He shoots, he scores. Pat McCabe scores. The defenseman, as he legged it upfield, he dished it off and he got it back.
They love the defense here. And they love it when a guy like McCabe gets a chance to go down and put one in.
Pat McCabe gets the goal, his first of the year. And he is one happy man right now. Pat McCabe getting the goal. And we'll watch this one more time.
Well, Scaramazino was part of this because they got the ball after this. Watch, ball down. There it is. Who gets it? Matt Palem comes out. He knows where it is. Now Scaramazino's broken upfield, and then McCabe also. He just gets the ball off. And here's the other look at it. Nice shot. Great replay.
Syracuse 10
and that's Bonacci.
7:22.
And there's McCabe.
In the 3rd period.
Gets it on the give and go. Right back to him, left-handed shot.
And that, folks, is the first goal of his college career for a very happy defenseman. Pat McCabe. That's going in his personal highlight film.
Boy, I guess. That was great. Everybody had a part in that. Lots of hustle. That shows you what your coach is smiling. That shows you what your defense can do. And Syracuse loves to have an offensive defense, and that is a good indication of why. Faceoffs up 10-5. Syracuse dominating in that department. Kirk Pratt doing an excellent job. Had his toughest competition, I think, real early in the year, North Carolina and Hopkins. But
this
now
was
he's up in the 60% area.
This was a 5-4 game beginning the 3rd quarter. It's now 10-4.
Oh, nice scoop by
Corello. Nice save in there by Matt Palem. And we may have had Corello step in the crease. Palem's fired up now.
Huntley is going to stop, but Syracuse will retain possession.
7 minutes and 8 seconds to play in this 3rd quarter. John Desko on the left, Roy Simmons there in the orange jacket.
Eric Jusky, the gentleman in the sweatshirt, one of the grad assistants who played here. Syracuse taking their time. Stouffer hiding on the sideline. Just to the right of the lower screen, you'll see him come into your picture in a second. There he is, right there, 32. He's all part of this clear, just trying to remain kind of unobtrusive over on the sideline. He may have a midfielder come over and he'll break.
Here is McCabe. Kind of a chess game right now.
Now they're going to take their time. There's Stouffer back, give and go.
McCabe puts that ball down low and he carries it across. It's one advantage you have with that big stick. There's a fake by McCabe.
Play on ahead
situation. Now he gives it up to Burns. We've got a delayed call coming up against Hofstra. Syracuse will be able to get a shot away, or at least they'll keep it till they lose possession. This is free time now, bonus time. And there we get a stop.
Simultaneous foul. That one's against Zilberti. I think he said he held the ball with his hand. I'm not sure what the call was. Technical. Okay, it's something he was withholding the ball, had his thumb on the ball. Let's see the Z? Watch. You're going to make a move, and now when you get that hand way up on the neck of the, see right there? He might have slipped his thumb up on the ball and withheld it from coming out.
I like that move.
Hey, I'd try it. Right now, it's going to be simultaneous fouls, penalties, which should be. We got two guys in the penalty box. One from Syracuse and
John Zilberti, number 11, Syracuse.
And they have to stay in for at least 30 seconds. So no matter what happens, nobody can get out for 30 seconds.
Penalties not releasable for 30 seconds.
And they whistle it back for play with 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Each side down a man in the attacking half of the field. Gary Gate, who has 3 goals. Nice save by Janone again. He has played one heck of a game, and he brings it up.
He's been on the verge of getting 4 seconds in there. Oh, there's a slash.
He goes down, but this call will go against Syracuse.
Syracuse could be down a man after this. We'll see how long the penalty lasts.
Penalty's called on Tom Maricek, number 42 of Syracuse. 1 minute slashing.
Right there, you see him. Got him in the face.
1 minute slashing.
So Syracuse has 2 guys in the box. There'll just be 1 man down, but they have 2 men in the box because there's also 1 man in there for Hofstra.
Mike Loudenschlager has it now.
Opens up the lanes, doesn't it, Dave? Makes the field a little less crowded. You can see when we get a shot here, there's fewer bodies out there.
It is 80 yards from goal to goal, in case you're wondering. Mike McGee up high.
Another man up.
Sean Bolger is coming on.
And Bolger tries to sneak down.
There's Bolger getting it, feeding it right back to Loudenschlager. And Bolger.
Nice save
by Palum. And McCabe gives it back to Matt. Crowd enjoyed that defensive stance. And here comes Palum out of his cage. Now McNamara going by Foresta. Katie's going to come over, perhaps 26.
That's Gate.
Shot, and Janone may have gotten a piece of that.
End-to-end action. Gate takes a shot, ball down, up. Fast break for Hofstra. They lose it right there. The fast break.
Steve
anyway.
Buck has it, number 40. Ball is played off the turf nicely by Stoffel. And here comes Gary Gate. Gary feeding brother Paul. It's in the...
Nice save!
And Paul Gate ended up in the crease on the save by Janone.
Janone, really nice save. They've gone low on him the last couple times, and he has been up to the task of stopping the shot, and then Gate went into the crease afterwards.
He has stopped Gate personally now a couple of times at point blank range.
Yep, watch. There's the fake, and he doesn't go for the fake, and it doesn't bounce. He stops it before it bounces. Nice job by the young man from Hofstra. He's only a junior out of Brentwood High School, Long Island.
On the move now is McGinley. McGinley cross feed intercepted by Scaramuzino. Now Phil Schluter. Burns is on his right. Looks like Egan on his left. The pass intended for Zilberti is gathered in by Janone. Off the stick of Egan. This is Stanley now for Hofstra. The Flying Dutchmen have been grounded here in the third quarter. Olakovic has it. McGee, number 8, is going to be open to the near side. They're going to go his way. Scaramuzino picked off that pass moments ago. 23. Took away the angle. Helped out by Palem. They feed it inside. Stanley beating Matt Palem. Palem helped out.
Yeah.
And the inside defense wasn't there, and Stanley gets the second goal of the game.
Yeah, he was out of position when he came back. He was out playing a little bit of defense on McGee, and by the time he got back, watch him. There he is. He's going to come out and give a shot. Now he's going to get back. He's gone a little bit too far. You see, they got him cutting the other way, and then he just dove back to try to get in position. But Stanley able to put it by for the 5th goal for Hofstra.
Hofstra goal scored by number.
We get another look at it.
Bolger.
Nice.
Number 8, Mike McGee.
I think McCabe lost sight of the man behind him that time.
And then you see when Matt, a little bit out of position, he dove, but couldn't get there in time.
Second goal of the game for Bolger. Wolakovic digging for it, number 39. And he comes up with it. He is a persistent fellow. He's got it again, momentarily at least. Stouffer. And here comes McCabe. He loses it. Mike Lacrosse, number 1. Laudenschlager.
Well, they got people open.
Made a good fake. He's coming in, but he loses the ball to Palem. Scaramuzino now.
They're all yelling, who's got ball? Z-Man.
Did he step in the crease?
Oh, boy, did he get
got
clobbered. And it was legal. He never complains. Got those shoulder pads on. He took a shot last year in the national championship game. Let's see how it started. Scaramuzino came down the sideline, fed Z, who was open. Byrne filled in. He made a roll dodge, and then he turned. And so, even though that was in the back, if he hadn't been turning, it would have been a penalty. But he was turning, and it was a good call.
I thought his heel may have stepped on the line a little earlier as he was at his back to the cage. McGinley separated by Scaramuzino. McGinley's back to get it again.
They're playing defense way out there.
Here's John Cooper now, number 7. Bolger. Leading scorer last year for Hofstra.
McCabe took it away from him again.
Bolger and McCabe battle. Stanley with it now. John Cooper against Schluter. He shoots it high. Taken on the fly by McCabe. What an instinct for the ball he has.
He's only a sophomore. I'm sure they knew all about him when he was in high school at Hofstra. The Gates back on the first line. I guess you could really say first midfield.
Paul Gate back to Rodney Dumpson. He's got a goal in the game. That's time remaining third quarter. Zoberti back to Dumpson.
Dumpson taking his time. They got some cutters. Crease pretty crowded. They get the ball to the attack.
There's Gary Gate. Will he?
Oh!
What will he do? Score. That's what he'll do.
Well, you see what the philosophy is when Gary Gate gets the ball, is jump all over him. He was actually inverted. He was a midfielder down behind playing attack, and he just brought the ball from behind.
I thought for a second we'd see Air Gate or Subway Gate, as you called it.
That's right. No, this is just a power. This is an attack man's power. He did an inside roll dodge. Great stick control. Look at the stick control.
How about the body control?
Yeah,
he was knocked off balance. 2 men went flying in different directions, and he regathered himself, and he scored his 4th goal of the game.
That's his strength. You know, that's just so strong, those guys.
His strength is his strength.
Yep.
11-5.
Well, I tell you, the faceoffs have been contested all day.
Corello covered it up. Gate comes away with it.
That'll be Hofstra ball on a push. This has been a good game. Now a 6-goal lead for Syracuse, but I've seen other teams, Dave, kind of fold up when they get down by 6. Not Hofstra. They're playing very well.
Well, this third quarter is very much like the first quarter. Hofstra hasn't been able to do it offensively. Loudenschlager is run out by Palin. And a late flag in the opinions of some of the fans.
Be a slash, and Matt's going to sit. And that will put somebody else in the hole. As Matt Palin knew he was going to play defense. There he is. You can see him waiting. It was like an ambush at the pass.
Syracuse goalie Matt Palin.
Jerry DiLorenzo, 0-0 will come on now to play goal.
Matt Palin slashing.
Oh, darn it.
Now for the Orange double zip. Jerry DiLorenzo, 42 seconds remaining in the third period.
Jerry DiLorenzo, the freshman from Levittown on Long Island.
Tough position for him to be in.
No warm-up. You're in there.
Now, you don't expect usually to have the goalie go out on a slash, so he's got to have his defense help him out here.
Down to that much time remaining in this third quarter. Wolakovich thought about it, and then he lost control. Zilberti now. Syracuse will try to beat the clock. Here comes McCabe behind his back. The pass and the deflection, the rebound. Score! With 1 second to go, John Zilberti does indeed beat the clock.
Oh, boy. You want to talk about why people like lacrosse and the excitement. What a great sequence there. I don't care if you're a Hofstra fan or a Syracuse fan. You got to love the action. Ball starts down, little fast break, unsettled situation. Zilberti give and go. Back to
McCabe.
McCabe, who did the behind the back. There's the shot save. Here's the garbage man. Puts it down low. It ends up going low. And Zilberti picks up a goal.
Syracuse now in this third quarter has scored more than they did in the previous two quarters. As the third quarter ends with the Orange on top of the Flying Dutchman, 12-5. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this.
Another final.
Score by quarters, and you see the third quarter score 7-1, and Syracuse in a comfortable lead now, 12-5.
Yeah, for Hofstra, that was a really tough third quarter.
Next week, Syracuse plays at Hobart. That'll be a war, and we'll have it for you on many of these same systems. Syracuse quickly to the offense here in the fourth quarter. And a good job in there by Benelet, but he loses it on the near sideline.
Maricek has it.
John Zilberti, who scored a pair of goals in front of the cage, working in his accustomed position from behind. Freddie Amaya with a hard shot, and Janone knocked it high in the air. Here is Maricek. Maricek feeding Gate. And Gary Gate, is it, or is it Burns who scores? It's Greg Burns.
Yep. Greg Burns there.
Burns out of Janesville DeWitt comes up with his first goal of the game. It's 13-5.
Nice look by Maricek. He's just sprinting, and then somebody's got to come over and help out. And when they do, he pops the ball off and not able to get a stick on Burns. And he goes one-on-one with Janone.
Goal number 13.
Third goal of the game for Tom Maricek.
Greg Burns. Greg Burns, number 14, gets the goal. The assist, his third of the game, goes to number 42, Tom Maricek.
Assist to Maricek.
Maricek is third.
Maricek now with 19 goals. Of course, Gary Gate has 4 in the game today, Gary Gate, so he's got 25. There's Gary behind the back to Paul as a bunch of players end up in a heat.
Andy Smith got the face-off for Syracuse, number 12.
Hofstra defense yelling ice for an isolation. There's Paulgate trying to dive it in like his brother, but he ended up in the crease. Dive bomber attack from behind.
You know, when you talk about a team that's going to play Syracuse, you say, well, how do we defend them? Well, let's shut off the midfield like this guy, Paul Gate, and we'll put 2 guys on him, we'll drop and slough off, and then what happens is then they've got so many other weapons, it's very difficult. They got a great one in Maricek, they got a great attack with Zilberti. When you've got as many weapons and then the defense can start turn things around and get some offense, very difficult to defend Syracuse. Hofstra did a great job in the first half, a lot of hustle.
McGinley against Scaramazino.
Ball behind now. Lacrosse setting a pick. And Foresta off, ball down now.
Mike Lacrosse is 1 goal in the game. He had another one that was wiped out. This is Ken Curry. There's a hard shot from way outside. There's a stick down Foresta on the ground. And here comes Matt Palem out of the cage on a sojourn upfield with Steve Serrata accompanying him, number 11.
Well, fine. He's just looking for somebody to get the ball to, and there he finds him, Earl Hall.
Earl Hall looking to his wings. He doesn't see anybody, so Zilberti gets it. Zilberti now to Dan Cahey in the game. Cahey to Burns. Cahey, a junior from Homer, playing on the varsity for the first time. Bonacci gets the pass from Zilberti. Now Cahey, exaggerated hop step. He goes left, shooting on the run, and another good save by Janot. Bonacci tracks it down. Syracuse out hustling Hofstra right now. That ball was intended way up top. It was intercepted by Burns, and it ends up in the net.
I think it wasn't his stick was outside, and it was an illegal check, and the ball went in. It happened so fast.
I'm glad you saw it, because I didn't.
Let's see. Slow it down, guys. Let's see what happened. All right, there's the ball up in the air.
I think Burns intercepted that. That was intended for the man beyond.
He's got the ball. Now it's up. It's out of his stick again. And there it is behind the back. It did happen very, very fast. What happened was he couldn't control the rebound out of the stick.
That happened so fast I couldn't even see it on the replay.
Slow motion, I know it.
3 goals and 3 assists for Tom Maricek.
Unassisted goal by 42 Tom Maricek to make it Syracuse 14 and Hofstra 5.
14-5. Again, this is a 5-4 game at the half, and very nearly a 5-5 game. In fact, Hofstra had 2 goals disallowed in the first half. Hofstra coming back now. McGinley with some shooting or passing room. McGinley goes behind to Bolger. Bolger knocked away from him by McNamara. Bolger has a pair of goals in the game. Foresta against McCabe.
McCabe should.
Schluter in pursuit.
You know, they should put little indent, some kind of decal on the helmet so the guys that knock the ball down, if Scaramazino gets his stick fixed. He's done a number of them today, but McCabe also, he's amazing. We talked about the explosiveness of Syracuse's team, that big stick middies also. We got Persing and Scaramazino and Schluter. Excellent team defense, and they've held I think a good Hofstra team, Dave, to 5 goals so far.
New names and faces being rotated in now. Mike McGee for Syracuse is on 43 against Bolger. There's a shot, and it is Palem. He nearly knocked it in. Twice he had to save his own initial save.
Great outlet pass, Dave, to Schluter. Great pass by Palem.
Good pick set by Brooks
Got that big stick hanging out.
Schluter is taken down, no call. And now in transition, here come the Flying Dutchman. Gary Gate is still on. Foresta. Syracuse defensively is just taking Hofstra out of this game in the second half.
Yep, they've done a great job. Close defense and the middies, everybody doing things, making it happen. Here's a double.
It's on the ground. It's picked up by Foresta. And it's still going to be Hofstra ball.
A lot of power for a 650-pound lacrosse player as he put it wide, but it was a hard shot. Matt Palin was gone the whole way. He was, incidentally, the MVP of the national championship game against Cornell.
The lone loss by Syracuse during the last 22 games at Johns Hopkins to open this year. Shot is wide. Syracuse will keep. 10.5 minutes to go in this game.
Malakovitz with it.
Against Stouffer. One-on-one. Fanning on the shot was Lacrosse. He loses sight of the ball. McCabe with a nifty move. Went right around him and he loops it downfield. Right on the money.
Isn't that amazing?
Right on the money. Dan Lannon has it. He gives it up to Egan and he heads off. On comes Bonacci. Two entirely different games.
Yep, absolutely.
Egan from behind. Egan on the isolation. Will he go the other way? Yeah, he does, but he loses the ball. Good check there by Benelin.
Ground ball picked up.
Mark Hotailing. Earl Hall, number 7. 9.5 remaining.
Hotailing with it. Syracuse being deliberate.
Out to Cahey now. There's no telling what the score might have been if not for the play of Giannone in the nets. Nice change of direction by Bonacci. There's Giannone again. He is quick.
I'm very impressed with him. I didn't hear much about him before this game, but I'd have to say he played an excellent game.
Good move by Cahey to take the ball away from Cooper.
Cahey hustling.
Hofstra has it back. Cooper gets it back. Shot from a bad angle. Didn't really have a chance on that shot. Hofstra keeps it.
Look at the bench. There's Maricek.
Mike McGee of Syracuse is coming on along with Dan Lannon and John Winship. And new goalie coming on, Jerry DiLorenzo. Replacing Matt Palin.
Matt unofficially 9 saves. Gave up 5 goals on 24 shots unofficially.
Symphony of whistles.
Hold. Syracuse will be man down. He's got a nice philosophy, Matt Palin. I was talking to him. He said if it can't be fun, he said you really don't want to get too much into it. He's really relaxed before the lacrosse game. Why they really strap him in there. And of course, we know why. We saw what happened earlier when he made a face mask save.
Man-up situation now for Hofstra, and they'll get a chance perhaps to test Jerry DiLorenzo, who's in the nets. Another Long Island product from Levittown.
Highly recruited.
Mike Lacrosse has 1 goal in the game. He also had 1 disallowed. Foresta, quick stick goal. Nicely done by John Cooper.
Nice look by Foresta to get the ball to Cooper.
From Prince George, British Columbia. So all the Canadians from out west who've been in the game have scored. Maricek, the Gate brothers, and now John Cooper. Cooper's got a brother, Chris, on the team. I don't know if he made the trip.
Here's the pass from Foresta, the quick stick by Cooper, and over the shoulder of DiLorenzo. Impossible to stop. Good timing.
That was John Cooper, the senior, and the man who blazed the trail for the Gate brothers to head to New York.
And it is now Syracuse 14, Hofstra 6. We've got a little over 8 minutes.
Hofstra with 1 goal in the 3rd quarter, and now 1 here in the 4th. John Zilberti. Under 8 minutes to go. This is Maricek. Back to Z. Zilberti backing in. Lost the ball.
Byrne.
Scooped it backwards. Syracuse is going to keep it. Jim Egan, who lost his starting job, comes back on, but he's seen a lot of playing time.
Oh, yeah. Jim has seen a lot of playing time, and I'm sure he will as the season goes on. Very dependable player. A little dodge by Cahey. Up with the ball is Bonacci.
Bonacci can stop on a dime and turn on it also.
He can he?
Once again, save made by Giannone. At least he got a stick on it.
Giannone, as we said, a junior out of North Belmore on Long Island, Brentwood High School. I think they might want to give him a break, Dave.
Egan. Egan against Doug Edmonds. Dougie, you hear the goalie calling out instructions to him.
Start the movement.
Cranks it up.
Says, yeah, start the movement now. Let's get everybody moving.
Off the rotation, Cahey fires, but Giannone saw that one all the way, and his outlet for Dunny is a little high, but it's played by Wolakovic.
Nice look.
Tried to get it back to the big stick, who overran it. And here's Bonacci, the whirling dervish. Transfer out of Navy, loses the ball. Foresta has it on a play-on situation now. Flag is down.
Rob Smith, I think 35, slashed somebody.
Now they'll stop it. Procedure is the call.
Okay.
Nick Boynton in the game now for the first time for the Orangemen, along with George Clements.
Now, one thing I would say when you look at it, you say, what's the difference between these two teams and why is Hofstra up and coming? Like a lot of sports, Dave, I think Syracuse is deep and their sticks go deep. They've got very good stick handlers all the way through the lineup, second midfield, third midfield, defenders. So I think Hofstra's catching up.
I'll tell you what Hofstra's got going for it, population.
Yeah.
The more youngsters who see this game, the more might be inclined to take it up. And we got a lot of people down there in Long Island. Hofstra takes a timeout with 6:26 to go, and Syracuse leading at 14-6.
Wednesday, April 19th, and then on Saturday, April 22nd, 2 weeks today, it'll be Syracuse against Rutgers at 3.
Wherever you're watching today's game, we'd love to hear from you at Super Sports. Drop us a line, care of Cook Cablevision. 500 South Solana Street, Syracuse 13202. And again, we'd like to welcome those of you watching on Super 8 in Philadelphia. Joining our Super Sports cable network for the first time.
If anybody's down at Bill's Meadowbrook, which is right near the Hofstra campus, I've spent a little time in there. I don't know if it's still Bill's Meadowbrook. Nice sandwich in there, Dave. Give us a postcard or something from Long Island. Say hi.
As always, we welcome our viewers in New England on Nesson and those of you watching on HTS throughout the Middle Atlantic states. Jerry DiLorenzo is in the nets. He's a 5'10 freshman out of Levittown, Long Island. Matt Palin, by the way, is only a junior.
Yep. Last year, as we said, MVP of the championship game as a sophomore.
Coming down toward the 6-minute mark, Wolakovic. Good feed, and Laudenschlager beats Jerry DiLorenzo.
Well, they had a nice screen on him there, and he was able to get it by DiLorenzo low.
14-7 now.
Goal number 7 for the Flying Dutchman.
Only Hopkins and Adelphi have scored more goals against Syracuse this year, and Towson.
Mike Laudenschlager.
There you see the hopper, one hopper. And DiLorenzo's an excellent goalie, but he's only a freshman, and he needs all this time to get in and see what it's like. Get some experience.
Now let's check the face-off, man. Still Corello, number 4, the sophomore from Baldwin.
Matt Moore out of Fayetteville Manlius, I believe, high school.
Is he allowed to have his foot across that line?
No, he's not. But see, there's another line there. That's a football line. See, now they're getting it straight. I think it's the other white line.
Good job
Nice
by Corallo to come out of there.
And then a check by Moore sends the ball back down, and now he's got it again.
And Moore's in hot pursuit. Laudenschlager just got that last goal. Now Wolakovic. He's played a good game.
Yes, a lot.
He's held that ball oftentimes, as he's doing right now, to set up the Hofstra offense.
Bill Tully on him, number 45, sophomore.
Bill and Brian Tully on the Syracuse team. Brian's a freshman, Bill's a sophomore.
That was one of those sound slashes. No, they got him in the.
Lee Hine on the sideline, hoping to see some action. I'm sure he will.
Here's the movement by Laudenschlager, and then that's right. I heard a little smack, but they got him with his foot on the line or in the crease. That'll send him out, and Syracuse will clear. Get the ball to Gary Gate. He's going to get triple teamed.
Syracuse leading at 14-7. We've just got over 5 minutes left to go.
We got withholding the ball from play. That'll be Hofstra ball.
Good crowd on hand today, 4,694. Next time Syracuse is back in the Dome, it'll be what, 2 weeks? It'll be the spring football doubleheader, and then the Rutgers lacrosse game. And that should be a very interesting football game with the quarterback job up for grabs and jobs in the entire defensive secondary, all 4 of them up.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the new fullback? So you get 2 for the price of 1 on that day. Hofstra was down early. They rallied in the second quarter, made it a very close game. Now they're hoping to finish up strong here.
There's Mr. McCabe. Pat McCabe out of Elmont, Long Island.
Went to where? Australia this summer?
Yeah, the MVP, I believe.
We'll be selecting our Pepsi player of the game at the conclusion today. Good effort there by the defense. Di Lorenzo outlets it over the head of the intended man, but Nick Boynton is there to play it for Syracuse. The official nearly got it right on the noggin.
Jim O'Hara.
John Goodwin now has it, smallest man on the Syracuse team. If he's 5'8", I'm 7'1". Syracuse now sending on Paul Cannon, number 20. Boynton from behind. Nice save in there by Janone again.
Syracuse goaltender now is number 21, Lee Hine, replacing Jerry Dealer.
Lee Hine now in the Syracuse net, so all 3 goalies seeing action in today's game. I wonder if Hofstra will go to their backup goalie.
I don't know. Ginone's gone the whole way. There's 3:58 left. Incidentally, Dave, I wanted to tell you, they have taken on him 58 shots. So he has been a busy young man. And the backup goalie, of course, is Dave Cohen. I'll hold your coat, Dave. Go down and slip into the equipment and make sure your helmet's on tight.
Except they'd probably have it on backwards. Here's a feed, intended feed in close. Yeah, David Cohen is the backup goalie for Hofstra.
I'll pay to see that.
Syracuse rushing it down. Lannon gave it up to Boynton. Goodwin parallel with a goal. Does he have an angle?
Yes. All right.
And good things come in small packages. John Goodwin scores.
He's the piano player, isn't he?
That puts a smile on the face of Roy Simmons.
Yeah, he's a music major at Syracuse. Plays classical piano. Here he's playing classical attack as he puts it by Giannone for Syracuse's 15th goal.
And for John Goodwin, that's his first goal of the season. And the first goal of his career. Face-off violation.
They're going to be against Syracuse. McGee.
3 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Hofstra will go down to their second defeat of the year. Their record will slip to 6-2. There's a hometown product, Ken Curry. Lost it twice, got it back twice, and lost it a third time.
His high school coach, Tom Acey, may be here watching. Oh.
Up top, no shot attempted by Laudenschlager. Under 3 minutes to go in the game. It's 15-7. Milakovic's shot is wide. If it was indeed a shot, it is. And Hofstra retains possession.
Good hustle by Lee Hine, but not fast enough. Sean Polger got over there before the ball went out. Closest to it, so it'll remain Hofstra ball. 2:50 left.
After this one, a league game in the East Coast Conference for Hofstra as they travel down to Towson, the team that played Syracuse to a 10-9 game on the Day of Champions in Manhasset, Long Island a couple of weeks ago. Lee Hine out of his cage. 2.5 to play. Matt Moore on the sideline. On the exchange to Andy Boland. Paul Cannon shot through the slot. Jason Picorni now gets the pass. Picorni spinning in, looks for the backhander. It's way high and wide.
It's kind of a tough shot in lacrosse.
Clock stops at just over 2 minutes. Don't forget Syracuse at Hobart. The battle of the defending national champions. Division I against Division III. We'll have that game for you on many of these same cable systems. Check the time and place in your area. It's coming up next week.
Yeah, throw Herkimer in. They could have the 3 national champions.
Junior college champions. School that sent Mike Lacrosse to Hofstra. Lacrosse is 1 goal today. Loose play here, the final minute and a half. And a whistle.
Push on Hofstra. .125 remaining. Got to be a relaxed group after a, I think, very, very tough Hofstra team for the first half, and then that third quarter was devastating for them. Obviously good for Syracuse.
John Goodwin has it now. You wonder if it was a halftime talk, change of strategies, or just the players deciding to bring it up a notch. Goodwin scores again. John Goodwin with a pair of goals here in the fourth quarter.
For number 3, John Goodwin.
Watch those fingers, John.
Goodwin, number 3, unassisted.
He's the
making Syracuse 16 and Hofstra
music
7,
major, a pianist, and he's
playing a fine tune right now.
Just gonna say, playing an upbeat right there, isn't he? John Goodwin, his second goal.
Making a late bid for Pepsi Player of the Game honors.
We were in agreement on this one. This is going to be interesting. That little movement there, you can't do that. And Andy Smith again, I believe, will. Nope. My mistake, Andy. Somebody from Hofstra moved first. It must have been Corello who's coming off.
Goodwin stays on. He's got a chance of the hat trick here. Picorni outside. Clements. Here's Boynton. Lindsey Hargrave defending against him.
Yeah, a lot of blue shirts if you hold on the ball that long.
Yeah, Goodwin wants it behind the cage.
George Clements. Ooh, boy, he really took a shot.
Boy, and Giannone going the distance in the cage. Comes out. Perhaps one last offensive thrust for Hofstra. In the closing 15 seconds, they overshoot Cooper coming in off the bench. Clock stops with 9 remaining.
Report to stadium control. Kevin McNamara to stadium control, please. Got 9 seconds left in the game, fans. Thank you very much for coming. The attendance this afternoon, 4,694. 4,694.
It's been a hard-fought, well-contested game. Not a strategy. Not a good team defense by Hofstra early on, and by Syracuse certainly in the third quarter. Time is running out, and this game is history.
And that's it, folks. Syracuse 16.
Syracuse has defeated Hofstra 16-7. We'll be back with our Pepsi Player of the Game right after this. Syracuse has defeated Hofstra 16-7 to run their record to 6-1. Hofstra is now 6-2 in a sport dominated by the offensive stars. Our Pepsi Player of the Game today is a defenseman for Syracuse, but a guy who came up with his first career goal right here, Patrick McCabe.
And, you know, he does it on both ends of the field. That was his offensive shot today, but he's a great defenseman, does a lot of knocking the ball down and starting things for the offense.
So our congratulations to Pat McCabe, as that third quarter was a tremendous turnaround by Syracuse. They broke a 5-4 game wide open, and they won it going away 16-7. Don't forget to be with us when Syracuse meets Hobart, the battle of the defending national champions, coming up next week on many of these same Super Sports cable systems. Frank Rafka, our producer, the coordinating producer Bob Judwinville, Andy Swyk, our remote supervisor. Now speaking for Dale Dry-Poulter, this is Dave Cohen, thanking you for joining us and reminding you to be with us for Syracuse Lacrosse all season long. This has been a presentation of Super Sports and Cook Cablevision of Syracuse.